Hello, Peter Greenlaw here. I'm the founder of the New Health Conversation movement, which I think we sorely need. It's a registered trademark with the U.S. Patent Office. The New Health Conversation is about one thing, and that's bringing you real scientific evidence, not hype, not celebrity endorsements, not any of that stuff. Because honestly, and I have great respect, I wrote 4 best-selling books with medical doctors, as dietitians, nutritionists. They're coming on and they tell you what they know. But what they're telling you is now pretty much debunked by medical science. And none of the stuff they're talking about, for the most part, has any medical backing at all. We rely on the world-class experts. So today, I want to share with you information from this incredible book, The New American Diet, that was written by Stephen Perrin, editor-at-large of Men's Health. A term you probably have never heard of before, called obesogens, may be probably the main reason why we've got 80% of America overweight and we got 50% of those people obese. So let's talk about obesogens. That's a scary word and one you've probably never heard before. But if you want to lose weight and keep it off for good and protect your body, your family, and your environment in the bargain, you'll need to understand the term. Simply put, obesogens are chemicals that disrupt the function of our hormonal systems, leading to weight gain and many of the diseases that curse the American populace. They enter our bodies from a variety of sources, from natural compounds found in soy, from soy products, from artificial hormones fed to animals, from plastic pollutants in our food packaging, from chemicals added to processed foods, and from pesticides sprayed on our produce. They act in a variety of ways, mimicking human hormones, such as estrogen, blocking the action of other hormones, such as testosterone, and in some cases, altering the function of our genes and essentially programming us to gain weight. Can you imagine that? Did you know that? That's a major contributing factor that we don't even have any control over, okay? Now, they go on to say, though, which backs up a lot of what I've talked about before, that the only thing that matters to the human body is not calories, which the body can't count, doesn't even know what a calorie is. It only cares about nutrition. So he goes on to say, the more nutrition you give your body, the fewer calories it wants to eat, and the more efficiently it burns the calories you do eat. So there again, he's backing up what I'm saying. Why does your body get hungry? Because it needs nutrients from functions. Vitamins, minerals, proteins, and healthy fats help our cells divide and conquer. Fiber, meanwhile, helps strip cholesterol from our bloodstreams and fat from our bodies. One study found that simply increasing fiber really could make a difference in weight loss. He goes on to say, simply put, we're eating and drinking too many obesogens. They're called endocrine disrupting chemicals, or EDCs, that confuse our hormones and trigger weight gain. Even the Endocrine Society, the largest organization of experts devoted to research on hormones and the clinical practice of endocrinology, recently reported that the rise in the incidence in obesity matches the rise in the use and distribution of industrial chemicals that may be playing a role in generation of obesity, suggesting that EDCs may be linked to this epidemic. Obesogens are thought to act by hijacking the regulatory systems that control body weight, says Frederick von Saul, PhD curators, professor of biological sciences at the University of Missouri. So now what they're saying is, and here's the thing I know because I was involved in this. I actually wrote a book, shameless plug for me, called the TDOS syndrome. It stands for toxicity driven by nutritional deficiency, causing obesity, overweight, and stress. And a lot of what he's talking about in the book were things that I had talked about, because you have to understand that it was only in 2006 or late 2005, early 2006, that Mount Sinai Medical School in New York did the first study on us accumulating toxins in our visceral fat. So you got 2 layers of fat. You have the outer layer that's called subcutaneous or adipose. Then you have the underlying, the visceral fat, which surrounds all our organs, which is the body, really its last line of defense. As we ingest the chemical, the body, because the immune system can't deal with it, the liver tries, and then we're now ending up with about 45% of the adult population with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And that's not from drinking. That's just a fact. It's from actually too much sugar and high triglycerides. I know I've really probably depressed you. I'm not trying to depress you. I'm not trying to scare you to death. I'm trying to scare you to life. Here's the great news. There are 2 new peer-reviewed human trials. In case you're not familiar with those, that's as high as you go in medical investigation. For example, you heard the term clinical trial. That's a prelude, but that's not a peer-reviewed study. The highest level is a peer-reviewed study. Like, no drug will get approved unless it's been through a peer-reviewed study. It's the most rigorous scientific examination of your hypothesis, your experiment, whatever you want to call it. Now, in these peer-reviewed studies, what did they show? Number one, they showed this was removing the toxins, the basically the obesogens from the visceral fat. Why? Because in 8 weeks, with no one allowed to exercise, 80% women, 20% men, they reduced visceral fat, the very fat storing the chemicals in, by 33%. In a month, they lowered blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, triglycerides, and inflammation went down by 25% in just a month. These results have never been seen before. This is not a diet. It's a revolutionary new approach called intermittent nutritional fasting, not intermittent fasting, and something called protein pacing. That's what they did in the experiments, which were combinations of regular food along with very specific elements that no longer exist in high enough quantities in the food in North America. They come from all over the world. They come from Russia and China, Mongolia, and from even the Himalayas, literally from Tibet, but literally from the side of the Himalayas in South America and New Zealand. And that's what they use in these studies. The fact that it was able to show that it was removing chemicals from the body was a huge thing. No diet even comes close to this. Even if you sit in a sauna, it doesn't matter. They've proven in exercise, no toxins are released in exercise. Your body can do it. It's your body doing it. But your body needs the right protocol and the right methodology that they proved in these peer-reviewed human trials. Can you imagine? People lost weight in a month, which took a year on any diet, and gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass, despite that 33% loss in visceral fat. And again, now we're having more and more proof, like this book, backing up what I've been saying all along. That's why I say I'm not the expert, but I became an expert on the experts. And there's lots of other people like that in the over 500 books that I've researched on diets and why they don't work and all the new evidence that's out there. But this whole new thing with obesogens, it's pretty startling. So you can go on any diet you want and you're going to lose weight, but I promise you, based on studies, it's the wrong kind of weight. You're going to lose water and lean muscle mass. That's not what you want to lose. You don't want to lose your lean muscle mass because when you do that, the body reacts by doing what? It goes and looks for the nutrition. And where does it find it? The densest accumulations in the brain, the kidney, our organs, and our muscles. And it first goes to the muscle and literally converts our muscles into carbohydrates for energy. But that's still not enough. Then what the body does, it literally has to do what? As a reaction to literally less fuel, slows down metabolism. When you slow down metabolism, that's why you go hit a plateau on a diet and you come off the diet. You gain all the weight back because you literally can't burn as many calories. And like I said, with all due respect to the people I see on YouTube and on Twitter and on Instagram, et cetera, they're all talking about, oh, do the keto diet, do the paleo diet. But you have to understand that these diets in the long run, the only thing you lose is lean muscle mass and water, not because I say so, because these big researchers, one, University of Minnesota, Tracy Mann and her department, they looked at like 30 different studies, thousands of people, and they said the two conclusions they came to, 100% guaranteed. Number one, the primary weight is from muscle mass. Secondly, all the people, once they stopped the diet, went back to eating normal, gained all their weight back. That's not my opinion. Again, you can do any diet you want to, or I invite you, go to the link below. It'll take you to the website, to all the evidence. And then, and only then, if it looks like you're going to convince yourself, reach out to us and we'll get back to you and we'll answer all your questions. This is going to change the world for the people that are, pioneers, people that are willing to do it. Although it's, believe it or not, it's been around for almost 22 years. So it's not an experiment. But now the medical evidence that took years to assemble finally proves that this is really something that could make such a difference for so many different people.